things. What does that mean? That means everything that is meant for them comes to them. So many people have been successful. So many people have gotten, healed, okay, in the sense, we don't make medical claims, in the sense that if you have anxiety, if you have anger, triggers that you always get angry, that you always get upset, okay? If you're feeling guilt, if you're feeling shame, and then, right, all of those things disappear. You don't have that anymore. You have clarity. You are clear. We call that healing. And that has happened to thousands of people that have come to see me. So what does this involve? It involves basically your voice. It involves the vagus nerve. It involves your neurotransmitters, okay, that fire oxytocin and endorphins. It's a hormonal thing that happens in your brain, okay? It's a hormonal flooding of hormones, actually, okay? It just, because as you do these high tones and as you do them with strength, it activates your neurotransmitters. And pretty soon you get that relaxed feeling. Well, we call these cycles, we don't call them treatments because we don't make any medical claims. We have to stay away from that for legal purposes. But cycles, okay, so once a week for 1 hour. By the third session, you feel like a new person. Okay, by the third month, you are completely good, completely open. My clients come to me like this, okay? So they're like this, okay? We relax them like this through their voice. They go like this, they go like this, they start to open, and then they open. Open for different people could mean different things, okay? But mostly what we notice is people become more expressive. People say what they feel instead of holding back, instead of hesitating. Now, all the negative emotions are rooted in fear, hesitation, procrastination. All of those things are rooted in fear. So all of those things happen. Okay, now, a lot of people that are introverts, for example, introverts run the world, okay? There's nothing wrong with being an introvert. But sometimes introverts hide in here. They retreat. They don't know how to look people in the eye, for example. They don't know how to face people. They do things on their devices, or they would text people or email them instead of just talking to them face to face, okay? Because then they don't have to deal with them. And that's a lack of confidence. So this builds confidence, and we call confidence that relaxed, centered feeling. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Jay. We call that relaxation, okay? Because confidence is that relaxed, centered feeling, okay? It's not something you put on. Those boisterous people you see in the gym with the big muscles and, those guys. I always use this example. Okay, but when you see these people, right, it's an exterior confidence that they have. Okay, because you have that little 4'11" Asian girl controlling them. Okay, so that can't be confidence. Okay, but but this inner confidence. So we're going to talk about the vocalization today. Okay. Good morning, Doctor. Hey, Dr. Ben. Good morning, Dr. Ben. So we've done this on so many people. It works on every human being, okay? And it takes 3 months. So when you say 12 weeks, okay, compare that to a year of therapy, and or whatever. Some people have been in therapy for years. I have actually had this experience. So like I said, we don't make any medical claims, okay? But people have come to me. A lot of people have come to me and never gone back to therapy, because it's unnecessary. The difference between what I do in therapy is, with what I do, you never need to say what's wrong. It'll just fix it, and you just work with your voice. So some people show up. I have 2 businesses. I have 2 companies that deal with this. Okay, the first one is for singers, because this effect of building the voice and the process that we use brings the same kind of confidence. Okay, so it started in the voice school. It started with the voice school. Okay, and we were wondering why these little kids were like, puffed up and they're sticking out their chest when they sing. And we were like, wow, this is not normal. And the reason why we were wondering, right, is because these these little children, it wasn't just one of them or 2 of them, it was all of them. Okay, all of them. With the teenagers, they started joining clubs. They started being more outgoing, more sociable. They started doing more activities with others. Okay, they started joining. So the right hemisphere of the brain, and I gotta say this, okay, because yesterday I was talking to one of my clients, and she was watching one of my lives, and she thought I meant right brain as in right political affiliation and left brain as in left of political affiliation. No, no, no. I'm talking about the right and left, literally the right and left hemisphere of your brain. It's not about politics, okay? Look it up. It's a thing. You have a right hemisphere of a brain, okay, and you have the left hemisphere. All right. And we were talking about esoteric knowledge yesterday, things in the Bible that refer to in here, the kingdom within. Okay. But anyway, back to the voice. So these kids, okay, were becoming very, very confident. So I went down the rabbit hole in 2010. I did the research. The research is up on both websites. Okay. If you're a singer, the strengthening of these muscles will make you an exceptional singer. I don't care if you're a mediocre singer, you'll be a good singer. If you're a good singer, you'll be a great singer. Okay, we've created fantastic singers. The only downside to all of that is that once they're this fantastic singer, okay, there's nowhere in Hawaii for me to put these people. So hopefully some of the people that I've developed in the mainland over the years, I teach internationally now, okay, and hopefully some of them find some opportunities. But in Hawaii, there are no opportunities, no substantial opportunities anyway. But we noticed that this confidence, okay, and confidence again, okay, is the absence of all the negative emotions. It's the absence of overthinking. It's the absence of anxiety. If you have anxiety, in 3 months I can get rid of it. Okay. If you're taking medicine for anxiety, okay, that may be a deeper issue, maybe not. But I can tell you, okay, without making medical claims, I have to say this because I don't want to get sued by the AMA, but without making medical claims, I can tell you that I've had teenagers get off depression meds. I've had people get off anxiety meds, okay, things like Xanax, stuff like that. Okay, they get off of it. Just totally don't need it anymore. Okay, I got this text from this girl, Michelle, and it was one of the most heartwarming. And this is why I teach. This is why I do this. More than money. Money is just, money's here. The money comes, money goes, money comes, money goes. It doesn't mean much to me. Okay, it's just a unit of measure. But what really meant something was, I was doing my work one day at my desk in my office, in my physical office, and I got this text from her mom. This was from a mother of a child, and Michelle was 14 at the time, and I think she was 15 at the time. She was 15, and the mom texts me. She had had a bad experience with ecstasy, with some experiment, teenage kind of thing, right? You experiment, and she had gotten into a thing where she was in depression. She was getting antidepressant meds, and she was basically under treatment for about 1.5 years. And her mom shoots me a text one day out of the blue, and she says, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. Michelle no longer needs to take antidepressant meds." And this was after, but we worked for 9 months with her. But she was more inclined to music. She played music, she sang, she played multiple instruments. But I focused on the voice and the vocalization process. Now, we always talk about affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization, okay? These are the 4 pillars that if you do these 4 things and you aim them at one thing, it has to happen. Okay, you're a human being. It has to materialize. Okay, and we go through the process all the time. But today we're just going to talk about the vocalization pillar. Okay, now the vocalization pillar is the core of my singing school. Okay, it's called Voicemaster Vocal Development. You can look it up. If you're on, I hate to say platform names, but if you're on Instagram, okay, look it up, Voicemaster Vocal Development. You'll see videos. And on the what we did on the, we no longer post, okay, on those sites, on the Facebook site, on the Instagram site, we don't post. Because everything is done online, everything is done on FaceTime, everything is done on WhatsApp for my overseas clients, my clients in the UK and elsewhere, and people in the mainland. Some of them are on Microsoft Teams. So it's really awkward to take a phone video and ask somebody, oh, can I video you on the phone? I mean, it's kind of awkward, so we don't post anymore. Okay, but we did post for a while, and you can look on Facebook and you can look on Instagram, and you'll see all of these videos. You'll see the progression too, because on Instagram we would put them week by week, and you can see their progress. Every week they get better. So anyway, because okay, so voice vocalization, okay, and I'm talking about when you express a tone with strength. Okay, in the spiritual community they call it toning. Okay, they call it toning, but they don't do it like we do. Okay, this is different. This is and I did this by mistake, and the mistake was I was telling the kids when I was teaching years. I've been teaching for 37 years. I was telling the kids to bring out more sound, bring out more sound. So they got louder and louder and louder. But as they got louder, I was unaware that their hormones were firing. Okay, oxytocin, endorphins. Okay, and in that process, serotonin levels begin to increase, and cortisol levels, the fight or flight, okay, starts to decrease. Okay, that's what starts causing anxiety. Okay, cortisol levels, stuff like that. Okay, when you start getting into fear, okay, all the negative emotions are rooted in fear. Okay, so these kids started getting fearless, and I was like, what's doing this? Because every kid did this, and it only took 2 months for these kids to clear. But they're little kids, right? They don't have responsibilities. They're 6, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, and they were clearing quickly, and you could see it in their eyes, like they were alert. Okay, they weren't under societal hypnosis. Okay, so what happened was I went and did some research, and it took me 2 years of research to go through everything. It was a lot of research. I must have gone through at least 300 hours of videos, maybe 400 hours of videos. Okay, in 2 years. Every chance I got, every time I wasn't working, I was watching a video. And this is this, so everything from quantum physics to string theory, this is all related because everything is vibration. So when Nikola Tesla tells you, what he said in his books, he said, if you want to think about the universe and understand it, think in terms of energy, frequency, vibrate, and vibration. What we add to this vocalization process is velocity, strength. Okay, so it's not just your voice is not just a form of communication. Your voice can heal you, and a lot of people don't know that. Okay, and I'm going to keep saying it and writing about it and publishing articles about it. If you go on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn, just look for me, search me on LinkedIn. You'll see all the articles about it. Okay, and how this helps professionals because I serve professionals. The majority, anyway, are professionals. Okay, and it's for a reason. It's because they get stressed out and they need to maintain balance and they need to achieve flow state. Okay, flow state is doing a large amount of work and you just kind of breeze through it. Okay, it's working without fear, it's working without anxiety, it's working without pressure. Okay, yeah, you're gonna feel a little pressure, but you're not gonna react like it's a chore. You're not gonna react like, oh man, this is terrible. You're not gonna do that. It's gonna increase productivity. Okay, so your voice is a biological, neurological, and somatic regulation mechanism. Okay, whoa, what does that mean? Somatic, your body, it regulates things in your body. Okay, besides the hormones. Okay, it does other things. Okay, and it also is very useful for relaxation. So let's say you had a hard day, let's say you had a hard day, you do these exercises, and we combine them with breathing exercises. We have a panting exercise, and when we do the panting exercise, it does a couple of things. It slows down your prefrontal cortex. Okay, the frontal lobe of your brain. Okay, and for you people out there, it doesn't have anything to do with politics. Okay, this is your brain. You have a frontal lobe, you have a right and left hemisphere. Okay, so but it does that, it slows it down. Why is that important? Because when you start thinking a lot, okay, you know how you switch between thoughts. Okay, women can multitask. Okay, so men don't tend to multitask too much. We can, but we get tired, we get burnt out. So we only do it for a little while. Women can multitask all day long. Okay, and they're actually a lot better at it than we are. And they switch from one thought to the other thought to the other thought. Pretty soon they get overwhelmed. What happens when a woman gets overwhelmed? She cries, okay, because it's an emotional purge. It's a purging, and that's a good thing, okay. So guys, if you see a woman crying, it's not because something is, you know, not because there's a catastrophe. She needs to purge her emotions, okay. So so that happens, and then you feel brand new, right, ladies? Okay. So what this does is it takes away all of that. It calms all of that. Okay, now when this happens, something spiritual happens. Okay, you're a spiritual being. You're not your body, you're not your name, you're that spirit that lives in here. Okay, your awareness increases. Okay, let's talk about awareness in the human voice for a second, for a couple seconds, for a couple minutes. Okay, when you're stressed, let's give you a visual. Let's say that your awareness looks like this. Okay, and let's say that this is awareness in retreat. It has retreated because there's stress piled on it, okay? There's stress, there's deadlines, there's all these pressures, okay? Things, I got to take my son to the Little League game this afternoon. I got to finish up my work before I do it, and yada, 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 right? Okay, like that. So, like this, what happens when you do this vocalization process is that your awareness starts to increase, it starts to open up. You start to open up. You start to be more expressive. You start to be more open to things. Okay, and that's why my kids, my little kids, I don't have little kids right now. I have two teenagers, but that's it. Most of my clients are professionals. But the kids, okay, what happens with the children? I have autistic children. I specialize in autistic children. Okay, autistic children um, are very easy to communicate with if you know how. Okay, and it takes some patience. But yeah, I've worked with a lot. In fact, there's one guy that I produced. My record company produced him with an album and an EP, and you can find him on iTunes. His name is Darren Chinen, Chinen, and I encourage you to buy his music to support him. And he has a mild form of autism. Well, something really special happened with Darren. He started getting confident. Okay. When he started getting confident, guess what happened? He started getting better grades in college. I got him like when he was a senior in high school. And then the rest of it was college. He started getting more confident, more open, more sociable. Okay, he started bringing out his inner spirit in here. Okay. Then what happened? Well, then he became a teacher. But he was also my opening act for my shows when I used to do entertainment back in the day. So this was a long time ago. Okay. And he progressed, and everybody was like, wow, he was doing shows. I mean, shows. He could do his own show. He did his own show many times. And we were all so proud of him. And then recently, okay, last year, he got his master's in education. So we were very, very proud of him. But this is just one success story. I have thousands. I have thousands. If you look up our school online on Google, you can read the reviews. They're all 5-star reviews. There's nothing less than a 5-star because I work with human beings. It's Voicemaster Vocal Development. Okay, so here's how the companies work together. Okay, so people come into the vocal development side, right, and they get confident. Now that they have confidence, the question becomes, what are you going to do with it? So we put them in life coaching, and we have them do that, and that solves the problem. Okay, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. On the voice side, on Voicemaster Vocal Development, it's just the vocalization process. That's it. but that's good enough to open up singers, and you should see the beautiful sounds that come out of them. Okay, it's not like the classical music methods on YouTube. It's very different, very different. This is an expression of the soul. And when the soul begins to sing, okay, this is not about techniques and, articulation exercises. It's not about that. It's about bringing out the energy, whatever you call in here, a soul, spirit. That's what it is. There's a separation between the soul and spirit, and there's a different explanation. But some people call this a soul. Okay, but you're not your body, and you're not your name. Okay, you're this in here. Okay, so what happens is that begins to sing, and when that begins to sing, it's beautiful. So I have this saying now, right, that human beings are like presents. You never know what's inside until you open them. Okay, and we open people up. Now, that's figurative speech. Okay, but when they become open, okay, like Darren, he became a recording artist. He did shows. Okay, and all he needed to do was open up. So everybody is born with their gifts. Okay, Darren was born with his gifts. He had everything. I didn't give him anything. I didn't go, here's some talent. No, he was born talented. He was born gifted. Okay, we just had to open him up so his gifts could come out. And this is the thing with most people. Okay, people that are stuck in fear, people that are stuck in I don't know what to do, people that are stuck in what do I do, right? Those questions, right? Those feelings, the negative emotions, guilt, shame, fear, that kind of stuff. It prevents you from moving forward because it paralyzes you, because you don't know what to do. You don't know what decision to make. When you're confident, what does that mean? That means you're clear. That means you have clarity. That means it's only you in here, without the junk, without the rubbish, without those negative emotions. Then what happens? Well, we don't know, right? There's several people I opened up, and all of a sudden they're doing theater. All of a sudden they're doing dance. All of a sudden they go do other things. Some people do creative things. Some people do, more academic things, and they excel. Why? Because there's no fear inside. Okay, so it clears it all up. The voice functions as a very powerful somatic healing tool. And people don't understand this because the research is there. I found one psychologist online, one, that does something close to what I do, but they don't do the velocity part. The velocity part gets you to where you need to be very quickly. Why is this important though? Well, it's even more important in this day and age because of these things, okay? Because of these things and because of tablets. This is not inherently evil. This is not inherently bad, okay? But this and tablets put you in a digital hallway, and it's just you, and you become isolated, okay? And then it's just your thoughts bouncing off of this thing. You can't interact with the people that you see here. You can type to them, you can message them, but it's not a face-to-face interaction. So you become isolated. And many of our children, when they're growing up, they shy away from community things. They shy away from social things. They keep to themselves. They end up like this, and they hide in here. Some people hide in here their whole lives. They don't come out. My life's work has been bringing human beings out of themselves, pulling them out of themselves, pulling spirits out of their body. Okay, I know that sounds like, like a horror movie. It's not like that. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to develop these muscles in people, to encourage them. I want to say coax it out of them, right? And coax it out of them and watch what happens, because it's amazing what they do. It's just amazing. Why is a voice, uh, why is the human voice a somatic tool for healing? It engages breath, vibration, muscle movement, and neurological feedback all in real time. Okay? At the same time, simultaneously. This is why when you talk to people, they go, "Oh, well, if you learn how to sing, or if you learn how to speak in front of people, or sing in front of people, you'll be confident." That's only part of it. Okay? What really happens is you get used to an audience. You get used to people being there. Anybody can do that. Anybody can get used to being in front of people. It doesn't make you confident. Okay? It helps you maintain confidence, but you have to have the confidence to get there first. You have to have the confidence to do it first, and then you get used to it. It's the hormonal trigger. The triggers of, oxytocin and endorphins. That's what starts to calm you inside. Everybody was born confident. Every single human being is born confident. Have you ever seen a insecure baby? Have you ever seen an angry baby? No. Every baby is born confident. They learn fear. They learn fear through experience. They're born in love. So the two opposites, the polar opposites, are love and fear. The opposite of love is fear. Okay, it's not hate, it's not anger. So when a human being is fearful, okay, hesitation, procrastination, okay, avoiding others, okay, it's a form of fear. If you're avoiding people, if you rather not be around a group of people, you want to be by yourself all the time. Okay, humans are social creatures. Okay, so it's not normal, is what I'm saying. Okay. Excuse me. It's not normal. Connection is a function of the right hemisphere of the brain. Okay, no politics involved. All right, we're not talking politics. That was funny when that lady told me that yesterday. I was like, oh, okay. I just want to make it clear because I don't want other people to think it's about politics, okay? But yeah, connection is in the right hemisphere. Connection, creativity, okay? Compassion, feeling, intuition, the voice of God, your divine voice, your divine guidance, your divine essence, all comes from the right hemisphere of the brain. Okay, the creativity, all of that. These are all right brain functions. The left brain is logic, processes, things like that. And the ego lives on the left side. And the ego always thinks it knows best. It will always pull you in a certain direction. It will start to dismiss divine guidance or intuition. But when you start to heal, okay, when you start to shift out of the fight or flight, okay, so like people living in survival mode. Survival, what is survival? Right? Survival is lack. So this helps manifestation. The people that come to even the voice school, they come to the voice school and they train, and pretty soon, I see them show up with all kinds of, whoa, how did that happen? How did you get that? And they tell me. They manifest all kinds of things. Manifestation is through your subconscious, okay? It's not magic. It's not witchcraft, although you could do a little ceremony about it if you want to, but it's your subconscious, okay? Very easy to understand. Anything in repetition becomes a subconscious program. And then your subconscious assists you because it just repeats the process. So if you plan the process, okay, affirmations. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm confident. Thank you. Okay, write it for 66 days. And you will establish a confidence program in your subconscious. In 2 weeks, you will feel the shift already. In 2 weeks. Okay, but 2 weeks is also the danger point for old programs. Okay? You ever go to a meeting? We used to do this all the time. We used to go to corporate meetings. Okay, we used to have corporate meetings. They used to roll out new programs. Okay, you guys that work for corporations, maybe you can identify with this. They roll out new policy, right? Okay, from now on, we're going to do it this way. This, and they give you the thing. They give you the plan. Okay? And we're going to do it this way now. Everybody goes, okay. And most of them try their best, right? Some people don't care. There's all kinds of people, right? But they try their best. Guess what happens in 2 weeks? In 2 weeks, everything slowly shifts back to the way it was. The majority of the plan, the majority of the items that they give shifts back in 2 weeks, okay? So 2 weeks is a decisive point, because the subconscious starts to pull back. Okay, now in a business meeting, in a corporate meeting, you're not going to be able to change everybody's subconscious. You're not going to tell everybody to write it down in repetition. You're not going to tell them, okay? That doesn't happen. So now everybody's used to doing something this way, right? Whatever, the old way. Now you implement the new way, and slowly in 2 weeks it goes like this, and then boom. Okay, so I used to tell these guys that I worked with before, I used to subcontract. And I used to tell them, don't worry about this. In 2 weeks, it'll go back. Because they used to get all panicked. Oh, man, I got to follow this new stuff. I got to learn this new procedures. I said, nah, don't worry about it. 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks. Sure enough, in 2 weeks, boom. But they didn't study what I studied. They didn't, they weren't familiar, right? Okay. Now, intentional vocalization is what we do. Okay, intentional. Okay, we do it for a purpose. Okay, and we do strong, straight tones that trigger endorphins, oxytocin, and does all the chemical stuff in the brain. Okay, but this is oxytocin is the trust hormone. It's the bonding hormone, oxytocin. Endorphins is the feel-good hormone. It's almost like dopamine. It's along the same lines. Okay. But when you do this, right, as you increase the levels of oxytocin in someone's brain, guess what happens to fear? Fear, hypervigilance, all those things start to decrease in your nervous system. All those things relax. Okay? So now you start to interpret, right, internal and external environments as safe. You start to look at it, oh, this is a safe environment. Oh, that's a safe environment. And we always talk about, right? We always talk about human beings being born with negativity bias. We all have negativity bias. We look at something and we go, what's up with that? And we analyze it. Why? Why do we have negativity bias? So that we can move forward as a species. So we can identify the threats and steer clear of them or eliminate them. Okay, like a bear, like a threat in the forest, whatever the threat is, or other human beings sometimes. You want to steer clear of the negative things, so you look at something through a negative filter to identify it. Okay, and this is why everybody has to remind everybody to be positive. Oh, positive. No, be positive. Be positive. It's the exact opposite of our biological wiring. Okay? It's the exact opposite. But once you get good at it, okay? Let's say it another way. Once you put it in your subconscious starts to repeat it for you. Okay? So if you look at the subconscious tree, okay? The roots of the tree are your core beliefs, the things that you believe to be true. The trunk of the tree is your paradigm, your attitude, the way you see the world, your worldview, okay, which gives way to the fruits, okay? The fruits of the tree are your actions that give you results. When you change the roots, the fruits automatically change. Your attitude, the trunk of the tree, automatically changes. But if you don't change the roots, if you don't change the foundational beliefs, the key word is beliefs, okay? In your subconscious. Now your subconscious is the culmination of all of your senses. Okay, but when you write things down, you got to write it by hand. Don't type it like this in your phone. It doesn't work. People wonder, oh, why is it not working? They're typing in their phone every day. It doesn't work. They're only speaking it out loud, not as effective. It works. You can speak things into existence. Okay? That's the esoteric meaning in Genesis when it says God spoke the world into existence. What does it tell you about God in the Christian sense? In the Christian faith. In the Christian faith, it tells you God spoke the world into existence and you are made in God's image. You are the image of the Creator. So where's the Creator? In here. In the kingdom. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. Okay, I'm not trying to push the Bible on you. I'm just trying to say, okay, these things are written. They are there if you look at them. So you people, that don't embrace the Bible or don't read the Bible or don't believe in the Bible, whatever, just know that the Bible is your friend. Okay? It's talking about in here, it's the owner's manual for the human being. But you have to know the esoteric meanings. Okay? So vocal expression also stimulates the endorphins, and what do the endorphins do? They calm you. It's like a natural tranquilizer. It's like a natural high. When you finish our scales and you go all the way up the scale and you hold these notes until you can't go anymore, you go to the highest, right? It fires these endorphins, and then you feel lightheaded. So I always ask my clients at the end of the thing, are you lightheaded? Are you feel a little lightheaded? They go, yeah. I go, good. That's the hormones. And then they calm. No, this is not something you got to do for a year. This is something you do for 3 months, 3 to 4 months, depending on your muscles. Muscles have a lot to do with it because you need a strong diaphragm to push a large volume of air up very quickly. Why is that important? Well, for singers, it's important so they can sing strong, so they can support high notes, so they can support their phrases for singers, okay? But for my life coaching clients, for my mindset clients, why is that important? Because the stronger your diaphragm is, the more you activate your neurotransmitters, okay? Because it's pressure, and pressure used with the voice to produce a tone in pressure, long sustained pressure, triggers the oxytocin and endorphins in greater quantities. So that's why we make people strong, so they can push that tone strong and loud, and it triggers the hormones, okay? It's not necessarily for the tone at all. I don't care what kind of tone they make. For the life coaching, it's not important. For the singing, we have a process that makes the tone better. And yes, every human being can sing. Every single human being can sing. Okay. So I actually have a few openings. If you go to our calendar, you go to the website and you book a free consult, because you can get a free consult with me. Okay. And I'll explain the process to you. But if you book if you book that, you'll see that it's by the hour. Okay, the consults are 15 minutes, but the hourly times, we book for adults by the hour, and we have a kids price that we do a half hour for the kids. But I started creating a half hour price for social media people, for the people that have been watching the live. We've been doing this live since April, every day. Every single day. I missed one day because I had a doctor's appointment. I had to go to do some stuff. But anyway, we have a half hour, and it's affordable. It's not like my executive prices. My executive coaching is very expensive. So, but if you're an executive, you can check that out. It's on the website. But all of the research is on the website. So read the website, read the research. All the white papers are there. White papers are medical papers written by doctors, and all the research is on the website. Okay, it's called The Science of Confidence, because this is scientific. This is not like, oh, you're gonna meditate and this magical spirit's gonna come in and do all that. No. This is science. You're a human being. Okay, you have everything in here that can cure you, and everything on earth in nature to cure you. Okay? You just get treated by man-made stuff. You don't get cured. Okay? But your voice can heal you. Okay? Now, cure in the sense that it never comes back, that doesn't happen. If you get stressed out again, it'll come back, but you'll know what to do. Okay? And it's just expression through the voice. So controlled vocalization paired with conscious breathing lowers cortisol levels very quickly. So the panting exercise is for your prefrontal cortex, because here's where the thoughts come. Okay, so you have conscious, subconscious, superconscious. Okay, you get the thoughts in your conscious mind. When the thoughts start repeating, okay, the same thought over and over, like you're worried about something, okay, over and over, it starts going into the subconscious. The subconscious remembers what it is that you're worried about, and it also memorizes the fact that you're worrying. It memorizes the process. That's how intelligent you are as a human. So how does that work against you? Oh, the subconscious starts to go, oh, we worry? Is that what we do? We worry. Okay. And then you start to worry about everything. Okay. But when you get the negative thought, your amygdala, okay, it's part of your brain, the amygdala starts to trigger after 6 seconds. You have 6 seconds to stop this thought. 6 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006. You see, it's a lot of time. You have 6 seconds to stop the negative thought, because a couple of things happen. The negative emotion follows the negative thought. First you think it, then you feel it. Your amygdala will start to give you variations on a theme. Okay? Your amygdala will start to give you negative feedback. It'll create a negative feedback loop with all the negative what ifs. Okay? And all those what ifs will be rooted in fear. Okay, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? And all of those things are going to be negative concerning the subject, whatever it is that you're worried about. And it'll be the worst possible scenario. Okay? Because it's being driven by fear. And what does that do? Well, if you're looking at the manifestation aspect of it, those thoughts go into your subconscious. And now your subconscious starts to consider these things. If they go into your subconscious enough, or let's say if you think them enough, they go into your subconscious as reality, as a program. Then your subconscious repeats this automatically. Then you begin to worry about these things regularly throughout the day. Okay? And then you take it from one day. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains it like this. You take this, all the worries, all the problems from yesterday, you bring it into today. Now you take it from today, you put it into tomorrow. When you wake up, you think about the same thing. Now you move it to the next day, you think about it, wake up the next day, there it is again. And you live the same life from day to day to day to day to dead. Because one day you run out of time. We all run out of time. We just don't know when. Okay, so the question becomes, what kind of life do you want to live? You want to live like that? Okay. You want to live in survival mode? That's survival mode. You're just doing things to survive. Oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta get this done. Gotta get that done. That's survival mode. When you do this vocalization process, guess what happens? Flow state. Okay. What does that feel like? It feels like, oh yeah, I gotta do this. Okay, there, it's done. All right, gotta go pick up the kids. All right, go pick up the kids. It doesn't feel like pressure. It doesn't feel like anxiety. It doesn't feel like, like a chore. Like, oh man, I gotta pull through this day. I gotta survive this day. It doesn't feel like that at all. Not at all. I never feel like that. And I do the exercises because I have to demonstrate the exercises. So I do it regularly. It helps me a lot. It helps me a lot. It has made me tons of money. It has built my companies. It has brought me relationships, brought me dates, all kinds of things. Whatever you enjoy, okay, whatever it is. I enjoy food, but I have to be on a special diet because, Sugar, to me, sugar is the devil. And yeah, you can put on a lot of weight if you get in the sugar habit. Okay. And sugar is very addicting. They put sugar in all kinds of stuff now. Okay, it's very highly addicting. So yeah, watch your sugar if you can. So I have more notes. I made a lot of notes. We're kind of running short on time. I'm just kind of glancing over my notes to see what's the most important thing to tell you about this. But you know, anxiety and fear and overthinking, that kind of thing, right? They're not really problems of logic, okay? They're more a reflection of a deregulated nervous system, okay? What does the voice do? It balances you out, okay? It actually starts to heal somatically. It starts to somatically heal your nervous system. What does that look like? You're not so jumpy anymore. You're centered, okay? Your nervous system is not in control anymore, okay? The reaction, living a reactive life. You react to everything, right? Because it's not really what happens to you that's important. It's how you react to it. Why is that important? Because you could create a bigger problem depending on how you react, because that sets up the next action, right? You see? So if somebody does something bad to you, it depends on how you react that sets up the next action. If you're very calm about it, if you ignore it, whatever, it dissipates. Okay, if you put more fuel on the fire, if you fight back, or if you whatever, right, strike back, or say the wrong thing, or be offensive, it could escalate. And then what? Then you have a bigger mess. Matthew, good morning, Matthew. Then it felt like I was privileged to be there and have an opportunity to work. I guess I missed the first part of your comment, Matthew. Let me look for it. Okay. Hang on, you guys. We have a chat over here. I don't see it, Matthew. Okay, I don't see it. Sorry. You'll have to ask the question again. So this process of expressing through your voice with pressure, okay, the vocalization exercise, it changes lives. And the reason why I say it changes lives is because people come in afraid. People come in fear. Some people don't know they're in fear. Okay, but this is the societal hypnosis, the conditioning. Some people don't know they're living in fear. Okay, high performance anxiety in professionals. I deal with professionals. Higher performance anxiety looks just like motivation, but they're working from fear. The root of their motivation is fear. Okay, you can't work like that and be productive for a long period of time. Eventually you hit the wall. And that's why a lot of these people, a lot of these corporations send their people on retreats, right? They give them activities. They send them camping. They send them to trips to de-stress, okay? Hi, Manuel. You have a lot of Joe Dispenza books, Joseph Murphy, learning about it, but not practice yet. Okay. No, that's good. That's good you're learning about it. That's really good. Subconscious is everything. Everything, 95% of your life, put it this way, 95% of your life is subconscious. So if you want something to repeat, let's say something good, because we enjoy good stuff, right? We enjoy money, we enjoy success. Okay, so put a winning formula in your subconscious and it will repeat it. So if you put something negative in there, okay, yeah, it's going to bring you bad stuff. And this is what manifestation is. If you want to manifest good things, it's very easy to do. It's effortless. All I have to do is think about stuff. I just think about things and they show up. I just wrote, I showed Jay. Jay saw this. I showed her an affirmation that I wrote, and I write it. I'll tell you exactly when I wrote it. It was just a few days ago. It was on the 17th. I wrote an affirmation, and it started happening the last part of last week. So it probably started happening on the 19th, and it came out. But you need to condition your subconscious first, okay, like this. So this is conditioning. Okay, you know how you get conditioned by commercials and media and all of that? Okay, this is how you condition your subconscious. This is how you put a plan into your subconscious, okay? And normally when you first get it started, the subconscious is like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it gets soft. It doesn't work as effectively. But the more you do it, the sharper you get. And the sharper you get, the more things come quickly. And all you need to do is write it down. It's not magic. Yep, condition, discipline, consistency. There you go, Matthew. You got it. Yep. And when I want something, I write for it. I write it down. And I think about it. And it shows up somewhere. But it's not magic. It's not like the energies of the universe bring it. It's not that way. Your conscious mind thinks something, and repetition goes into your subconscious as a program. Your subconscious looks for ways to make it happen. It requires action from you, either mentally or physically. You can act on something mentally and make it happen. Like I said, think about it. You ever think about your best friend or somebody that you really, really like? You think about them, think about them, think about them, think about them, then you run into them in the mall. That's the work of the superconscious, or God. Conscious, subconscious, superconscious. The superconscious, or God, opens doors as you take steps, brings the right people into play for your goals. These are not coincidences. If you believe in God, or let's say a higher power, or let's say infinite intelligence, then you have to believe 100% in that. I know a lot of people tell me they believe in God. When I ask them certain questions, they don't really believe. Okay, they like the story. They like going to church. They like quoting scriptures. But when it comes to belief, right, they don't believe. Why? Because sometimes it's a coincidence and sometimes it's God. Praise the Lord, right? It's either all God or it's all coincidence. And if it's all coincidence, then you're just living this random life and things just happen to you. I'm here to tell you that's not the way life works. Writing it down has been scientifically and psychologically proven to set into this. Yeah. I just said that a little while ago, Matthew. I guess you came late. But yep, Matthew's right there. There you go. This is science. This is not woo-woo. This is not the kind of spirituality that you're used to seeing online. This is not that. This is real stuff. If you do this, I promise you it will work. But you have to be proactive, number one. Okay? Proactive means you have to put your best foot forward. You have to do some work. You have to write, I am so happy and grateful now that I am confident, thank you. And do that once every morning when you first wake up, when your brain is in theta state. That's when you are open, okay? Your subconscious, the channel to your subconscious is open because you're relaxed. When you go out into the world, that starts to close. You start to focus, okay? Intently, you start to focus. Focus on driving, focus on your job, focus on details, that kind of thing. But your subconscious starts looking for avenues on how you can make this possible. And then it gives you ideas, right? If it's new car, okay, I like to use new car. I don't know, I've had a lot of new cars, so it's easy to give you that example. But if it's a new car, okay, so you get it into your subconscious as a belief, I'm looking for a new car, I'm in the market for a new car. Your subconscious will go like, well, maybe you can get a side hustle to get the car. It'll create avenues. Maybe you can get a side hustle. Maybe you can take out a loan. Maybe you can just go down and check it out and take a test drive and see how much it is. Maybe you can work extra hours. Maybe. But the subconscious will create a pathway somehow. And as you take the steps, it's the superconscious that will, it's God, superconscious, source, universe, whatever you'd like to call it. Okay? But it's that will start to open the doors for you as you take the steps. So I'm showing one of my executive clients this, and he's amazed. Because I show him that when he sends the emails, when he has the meetings, new doors open and progress is made, and he keeps going, and it's proactive. And in his proactivity, the universe, God, source, whatever you call it, Jesus Christ, Allah, whatever you want to call that, whatever you believe in. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but it opens the doors and it brings the right people, and you achieve what it is you seek. But you have to seek in here. Okay? It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Never mind what the physical world tells you. It's not about the physical world. It's about the spiritual world, because this is where it comes from. It's not magic. It's not hocus pocus. It's not casting a spell and then poof, it shows up in the driveway. It's not that. And the fear part of it, okay, the part that makes you hesitate, the part that makes you procrastinate. Oh, okay, yeah, I know about this. I'll do it, but I'll do it next week, or I'll do it next month. And then procrastination becomes a habit in the subconscious. Then what happened? Then you never do it. Then you never get around to it. You can train muscles with your mind. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can. Absolutely, Manuel. Yes. Yep. You can train muscles with you can think it. You can think muscles into strength. So, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. If you put my name into any browser, anywhere, AI browser, Google, Safari, whatever you have, Firefox, it will give you a rundown, and just put teaching method after my name and it'll give you all the secrets, okay? And I'm on here, we're on 7 platforms every morning for an hour. We've been doing this since April, but I'm on here so that you guys can benefit from it, okay? Because I want to reach a lot of people, because a lot of people are under the impression that this thing is just a mystical thing and not everybody can do it. No, every human being is born with this ability. Every human being. It's just that some people feel inadequate. Some people feel like the world is against them. Some people feel like anxiety is winning. Some people feel that they're not good enough. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. Okay, so believe in yourself. Okay, the kingdom is within. Your power, your strength is in here. It's not out there. Don't go looking for power out here. Your power is in here, and all you have to do is affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay, today we were talking about vocalization. Okay, so another thing before we go, guilt and shame are commonly stored in your chest, in your throat, the throat chakra, okay, and your diaphragm over here. So with the vocalization exercise, guess what? It pushes up and through and out, and it cleanses you vibrationally. It opens your throat chakra, the vagus nerve, one of the 12 cranial nerves that you have, one of the 12 tribes in the Bible, okay? It goes right down through the throat chakra and into your heart. And first, your throat chakra opens, okay? That gets rid of the fear, the guilt, the shame, all of that. Then it goes into your heart chakra. Then it opens your heart. And then your heart chakra carries a greater vibration. And this is how you tune a human being, like you tune an instrument, through their voice, okay? And when you do that, they increase their vibration. When you increase the vibration, guess what happens? All kinds of good stuff comes, okay? Better stuff, better relationships, better better jobs, better opportunities, okay, better money, better all of it. Okay, so I'm getting the signal from Jay. I have to, yeah, I have to go, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. again. And sorry, my voice. Oh man, I sound a little weird today, but I think it's just too much coffee and I'm tired. So I've had a long week. Anyway, so yeah, I bid you love and aloha from Hawaii, and we'll see you guys on the next live.